Overview of California Government, Part 1, the Executive Branch. The governmental structure of the state of California is established by the California Constitution. It is composed of three branches: the executive, consisting of the Governor of California and other constitutionally elected and appointed officers and offices; the legislative, consisting of the California State Legislature, which includes the Assembly and the Senate; and the judicial, consisting of the Supreme Court of California and lower courts. There is also local government, consisting of counties, cities, special districts, and school districts, as well as government entities and offices that operate independently on a constitutional, statutory, or common law basis. The state also allows direct participation of the electorate by initiative, referendum, recall, and ratification. In this video, the focus is on the executive branch. California's elected executive officers are: Governor. The Governor of California is the head of state and head of government of the state of California. The California Governor is the chief executive of the state government and the commander-in-chief of the California National Guard and the California State Guard. Established in the Constitution of California, the governor's responsibilities also include making the annual State of the State address to the California State Legislature, submitting the budget, and ensuring that state laws are enforced. The position was created in 1849, the year before California became a state. Lieutenant Governor. The Lieutenant Governor of California is a statewide constitutional officer and vice executive of the state of California. The Lieutenant Governor is elected to serve a 4-year term and can serve a maximum of 2 terms. In addition to basically ceremonial roles, serving as acting governor in the absence of the Governor of California, and as president of the California State Senate, the Lieutenant Governor either sits on or appoints representatives to many of California's regulatory commissions and executive agencies. Secretary of State. The Secretary of State of California is the chief clerk of the state of California, overseeing a department of 500 people. Attorney General. The Attorney General of California is the state's Attorney General for the government of California. This officer's duty is to ensure, as the California Constitution states, quote, "the laws of the state are uniformly and adequately enforced," unquote. The Attorney General carries out the responsibilities of the office through the California Department of Justice. The department employs over 1,100 attorneys and 3,700 non-attorney employees. State Treasurer. The California State Treasurer is responsible for the state's investment and finance. The post has less responsibilities and authority than the California State Controller. Some of the responsibilities include issuing bonds and notes for the state, and trustee as well as registrar and paying agent for all general obligation bonds and certain revenue bonds, and investment of temporarily idle state money. The administration of the state's budgets, final analyses and planning, money allocation, and economic research is under the California Department of Finance. State Controller. The State Controller of California is the chief financial officer of the state of California. The post has broader responsibilities and authority than the California State Treasurer. Responsibilities include investigative authority for every dollar spent by the state and being an ex officio member of the state's Board of Equalization. The State Superintendent of Public Instruction is the nonpartisan, although it was originally partisan, elected executive officer of the California Department of Education. The state superintendent directs all functions of the Department of Education, executes policies set by the California State Board of Education, and also heads and chairs the board. The superintendents serve a 4-year term, serve as the state's chief spokesperson for public schools, provides education policy and direction to local school districts, and also serves as an ex officio member of governing boards of the state's higher education system. Insurance Commissioner. The California Insurance Commissioner has been an elected executive office position in California since 1991. Prior to that time, the Insurance Commissioner was appointed by the Governor. The office holder is in charge of the California Department of Insurance. All offices are elected separately to concurrent 4-year terms, and each officer may be elected to an office a maximum of 2 times. State agencies. California government is organized into many departments, of which most have been grouped together in several huge cabinet-level agencies since the administration of Governor Edmund G. Pat Brown. These agencies are sometimes informally referred to as super agencies, especially by government officials, to distinguish them from the general usage of the term government agency. When Pat Brown took office, he was dismayed to discover that under California law, approximately 360 boards, commissions, and agencies all reported directly to the governor, and Brown proposed his super agency plan in February 1961 to impose order on such chaos. Brown appointed the secretaries of the first 4 super agencies, of 8 then planned, in September 1961. Today, the cabinet-level agencies, or super agencies, are the California Business, Consumer Services, and Housing Agency, California Government Operations Agency, California Environmental Protection Agency, California Health and Human Services Agency, California Labor and Workforce Development Agency, California Natural Resources Agency, and the California State Transportation Agency. The independently elected officers run separate departments not grouped within the super agencies, and there are other cabinet-level departments. The Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, Department of Education, Department of Finance, Department of Food and Agriculture, Department of Insurance, Department of Justice, and the Department of the Military. Independent entities. There are several state government entities and offices that are supposed to be independent of direct control by the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of state government, as well as any local government. Most but not all of the leaders of these entities are normally appointed by the governor and confirmed by the state Senate. Despite their independence, the governor can exert influence on them over time by waiting for incumbent leaders to reach the ends of their terms and appointing new ones who support the governor's current agenda. Examples include the Regents of the University of California, California State University Board of Trustees, California Community Colleges Board of Governors, California Public Utilities Commission, California State Auditor, and the Fair Political Practices Commission.